All right, it's time for Yang News of the Day, episode 27 for Tuesday, July 16th, 2019. I am David D. If you're new to this channel, you're going to want to click the bell down below. You're going to want to subscribe because I'm covering Andrew Yang through the 2020 primary season with this segment, Yang News of the Day. So, just throwing that out there. Thank you for being here. Okay, I got a really cool poll to go over with you. Very interesting data. A couple articles here to throw at you, and something else. We'll find out as we go. Okay, so I want to start with this poll. Okay, so if you're new to politics, you're going to want to follow polls and information in general, but definitely polls that come out of Iowa and that come out of New Hampshire. These are the first two states that give us prime indicators of who is, who's leading the pack. The most accurate information there is comes out of Iowa and New Hampshire. All the politicians in the primaries focus on these two states alone. If you notice, Andrew Yang has been going back and forth to Iowa for over a year. It's an important state. So Iowa and New Hampshire are key states, and this poll comes to us from St. Anselm, New Hampshire. The poll, I think it's St. Anselm University, I believe. The poll data is for July 10th through the 12th. Okay, so this past week. And there's some interesting data in here. Let's get into it. Okay, Biden leads the top, 20.8%. Kamala Harris, 17.5%. Wow, she got a big bump. Kamala Harris had a great debate. Whether you like her or not, whether you support her or not, she won over a lot of people. When she went after Joe Biden, it was a great strategy. It was great political theater. She scored big, and she jumped big. 17.5%. Holy mackerel. Okay, moving on. Third place, Elizabeth Warren, 16.7%. Okay, that's another huge jump. She's crested above her 15% peak. So 16.7, she is climbing. Her range is usually 9% to 15%. 16.7 breaks her peak. So she is going up. Bernie Sanders, 9.9%. I don't know what's happening to Bernie, but some of these polls ain't looking too good. I saw some other polls where he went up. So this one, he didn't go up. 9.9%. That seems abysmal for Bernie Sanders. Okay, Pete Buttigieg, 5th, 11.5%. That's a slight uptick. Beto O'Rourke, 6.4%. He should just get out of the race. This is ridiculous. And Andrew Yang, 4.9%. Now, what has Andrew Yang's range been for the longest time? 1 to 3%. We see him cresting above 4.9% now. So almost 5%, we see Andrew Yang going almost 2 points above his range. So this is great news for Andrew Yang and the Yang Gang. You want to see these steady climbs. Like I don't think it's going to be a huge, skyrocketing thing. I think it's going to be very slow and very incremental. And getting, almost 2 points above his peak, that's showing it's going to be a steady climb. So put your seatbelts on. It's going to be a long ride. Because I think Andrew Yang has staying power, but it will be slower and more incremental than we may want. So just sit tight, be patient. Okay, and I'll finish this out here. Klobuchar, 2.7%. Marianne Williamson, she made the board, 1.5%. And Tulsi Gabbard, 1%. They need to be making 2%. Remember, if you want to make the debates in September and October, you have to be polling at 2%. Just remember that for any other candidates you're following. So Williamson, who I like and I support, and Gabbard, who I like and support, they're not making 2% in this poll. So that has me worried. But back to Andrew Yang. This is good for Andrew Yang. And once again, remember the context. New Hampshire polls and Iowa polls, we really want to pay attention to. And another caveat here, we want to take polls with a grain of salt. Okay? It's okay to get excited. Let's get excited. but let's also take it with a grain of salt that, there's wide margins of errors on these polls that can go above 5%. So let's still be excited, but there's an element where we have to take it with a grain of salt, and we have to be realistic that there are margins of errors to work with. But I'm still excited for Andrew Yang. So I'm going to leave that poll data down below. I'll leave that in the description. Okay, what else? I'll leave some articles in the description down with this poll data. CNN ran an article called, quote, "What if the government guaranteed you an income?" End quote. That was a good article that will be down below. Vox ran an article, "I was a fast food worker. Let me tell you about burnout." Very good article from Vox about low-wage work, how it's a nightmare. Talks about depression. It just talks about the economy and these low-wage jobs. And that's so much what the economy is, these low-wage jobs. When Trump puts out these numbers, these jobs numbers, we know that most of them are part-time fast food jobs, okay? These aren't quality jobs coming out. But anyway, that's a good article from Fox. I'll leave that down below too. And something interesting I came across, SurveyMonkey had, someone made a SurveyMonkey Yang Gang survey, and there's 4 questions on it, and I will leave that down below for everyone to answer it. If you haven't done this yet, make sure you do it. It's just 4 quick questions that's tailored for the Yang Gang. So I'm going to leave that down in the description below as well. Okay, so that will wrap up Yang News of the Day, episode 27 for a Tuesday, July 16th, 2019. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell.